everyone's on, that edge.
Naibai would do their first to do sure that are at least stable. Uh, the what they can. You're not a full-fledged doctor that can put a limb back on. Can at least stop you from bleeding out.
There are quite a bit of people just sitting around with tourniquets on, patiently waiting their turn to be healed. There's a handful of non-combatants still alive who are mostly kind of in shock right now.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
I mean, when's the last time you were standing around in a party and someone turned to you and said, "Hold this," and shanked you?
Alright, now everybody's doing good.
Guy is attempting.
They're being the best bean.
Well, Beatrice would for sure do what she could to help, but this isn't her specialty, so not really much she could do except hold this.
Fionn would see if there was anything that he could do.
Well, what you can
To at
help
least try and
is
help out.
several of the actual medics that are there that, that's the smart thing. A lot of the, at least, it's like 1 in 5 chevaliers has been trained with combat medicine. That is like the advantage that Nemantia and the High King's training has always had, is having a saturation of those that can administer triage. You can help them by doing something like holding a bowl with a bunch of bloody rags in it while they work on somebody.
Yes.
Yeah.
Best that Fionn don't help a lot of them, though, because some of them are stitching up people with abdominal openings, and he's very squeamish.
Yeah. Like I said, Fionn would help where he could.
Yeah. It might be Beatrice that has to help with that. I don't think Fionn will be okay with walking over and helping hold this bowl while watching somebody very gently use a thing of calipers to adjust intestines back in place.
Nah.
Yeah, that'd probably be more of a
Hold on.
task.
Several people,
suited to
mind you.
Beatrice.
Yeah. Several people, however, they didn't make it with ones like that, but that just goes to show how sheer fucking willpower and sometimes just utter fucking rage is enough for somebody to hold on even with a mortal wound.
Yeah.
There's just this whole air of uneasiness in this little central. It's worth noting that the only area that there's free movement and somewhat safety is around the halfway point to the bottom stairwell and then up that whole little area right there that sprawls out into like a little, I guess you could say, deck. Well, it's not really a deck, just like a second little transitional level where you had waited earlier in this week, and then up to just the top of the second steps where the other doors and such are to further in, which that's all currently pretty much everywhere. Essentially, this whole area is currently being used like some sort of stronghold, little reprieve from whatever the fuck is going on.
Triage.
Like fortification, such. That's
I'm
probably something Beyond could kind of do. Also, is make sure things are staying intact.
Yeah. Like I said, Theon's going to help wherever he could, wherever they needed him.
I need him to help undress some people of their armor. 'Cause some people
Yeah, there
have
could be a
HM.
multiple person job sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you'll be doing while you wait on Kevin. Since Noro has elected to not let you continue further without Kevin because he doesn't feel safe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, probably a good thing to keep everybody at their best.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Mm. Mm. The occasional sound of the front door does open and a chevalier or two will come in. Just usually one injured of the two, sometimes both injured. Babalino? Ero monomite on the odie. Ero. The faint conversation being, who's winning? Definitely us. Casualties? Bodies in the walls. Kind of a nightmare for them. They're supposed to protect people.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised that they won that dice roll, though. I thought that the numbers game would win, but no, they've come out on top.
Quality
I
over
guess it's a
Sometimes
quality over
numbers just
quantity.
isn't enough. Yeah.
But it is worth noting that all of the chevaliers have a little light blue to their question marks, so you can't see their levels, but that does tell you that they don't have hostility towards you.
This is good.
I thought white was new.
Ah, dobra. Ah, yes. Squishy organs.
Squish, squish.
Mm-hmm. Beatrice is watching. Actually, he's technically not a triage. He's not just a normal soldier. He is a field surgeon. Ooh, look at that. Fancy. The only bit of his armor that he has on are his fucking greaves. The rest of it's off so he can use his arms. And he's wearing gloves of some kind. They're not exactly disposable gloves, though it does look like he has 3 or 4 pairs sitting in what looks like boiling water off to the side of him. A
Good
little.
sanitizing them.
Yes, he is. Because he's currently using them to, you know, actually work on somebody's chest cavity. And he's gonna hand you just some tube of this.
She'll hold it very carefully.
You can see them go in with tweezers, and you can hear that faint squelching as they slowly pull. It looks like a little. Thankfully, it is a broadhead. It's nothing too difficult to stitch, but it's a very big wound maker. And they pull it out of somebody's freaking lung here.
Ooh.
And they'll take that tube from you, and you can see them kind of slowly slide it into that wound. And they. All that. And they'll give it to you again at a sort of a dangle and hold it over so you can hold it over that little bucket beside you.
Siphon out the fluid.
Yep. No time. They don't have time. They have to get the blood out, and the fastest way is through this.
Yep, that makes
It's,
sense.
Yeah.
Sense.
I mean, it's crude, but they're in the field. They don't exactly have a fucking room. They've just got some tools and some knowledge. This is a level of calm. These are roles I'm doing here. This is a level of calm you'd expect somebody to have, even under pressure. That's just impressive. Haven't managed to accidentally stab themselves once though, while very, very meticulously stitching up as much of the hole that they can, and gently working the tube out. Once they hear the breathing get roughly back to normal, now that there's most of the blood out of their lungs, the rest will have to come naturally. It's interesting, though. They're using, medical science here. But they very much obviously know magic, because that's what they're using to boil the water in that bucket. So it begs the question, why use a physical science when they could just magic the wounds better?
So that they can go longer.
Exactly. In case they need to use a enormous amount of their magic on a dire wound.
It basically
Granted,
keep them from burning themselves out.
or causing
Yeah.
more trauma, because, as they will explain, it's like they just ramble to the air. Just in case you are wondering, the reason I'm not using magic is because there's two reasons. I need to be prepared in case a scenario goes wrong, and also because of the fact that in a sensitive, injured state like this, the body is extremely non-receptive to magic, and it can cause convulsions and lead to death.
So Beatrice is nodding subtly as she's listening.
Get good with both if you ever want to help someone. Or if you have a healer, make sure they're good with both. Once they have made sure their lungs are mostly intact, they'll check everything else, and you can see them just kind of hold their hand a distance away. It's fascinating to actually see all that muscle and a beating heart there. You were watching it be erratic, but now it's slowly starting to stabilize, and once they're done, they'll undo the little vise they have that's keeping their sternum open, and slowly close this person up and stitch them back together. And then Fiona's getting to help set bones.
Oh boy.
Just love this.
Alright. He will hold it.
Yes, Fiona is holding a brace, while this other soldier picks up his friend's leg, and you can hear the yeah. Stop whining. Slide that in. That's uncomfy. You know it's gonna hurt more. Yep. And then he'll reach over and look at Fiona. On the count of 3, I want you to push down on me, okay?
Alright.
1, and then he suddenly shoves down, and you hear that cracking noise as he jams his leg back into place. That was a lie.
That reminds me of the scene I saw. It's like, all right, I'm gonna set it on 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Crunch.
Why did you lie? Hurts more when you expect it. I don't think it does.
Basically, so they don't tense up and mess it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Best way to set it is to do it immediately after it's unset. An option when you're
Or when you just get
Yeah.
done fighting. But they did it within 20 minutes, so minimal damage. Now, we have to do his hip the rest of the way. And that's when they uncover their hip, and Sheldon gets to see a bulging hip disc.
Gillen's ears are gonna lay back open.
not with a eye wide.
Alright. So, just put my fist here. So, have you ever been to like an island?
An island?
Island?
Yeah. An island. Yeah, exactly. You know that place out there on the water that's like a little nation?
I
Have you ever been?
Can't say that I have.
What? You been? No, I don't think I have. Islands are really cool. Real quick though, like not a lot to do there. You spend a short amount of time there, and then suddenly, and you can see him push down and snap that hip bone back into place. It's all over. Next time, try not to get hit with hammers. Yeah, I will do my best. My best. I hate hammers. Easy to fix cuts. Hammers like to break things or knock things out of place, make a mess of things. Dislocations, shatters, fractures, impressions. It's horrible.
Sorry, I had to mute myself for a second since child was
It's
crying.
okay.
Child.
Okay.
It is raining.
Same
It's
though.
raining on YouTube.
Yeah.
Same though. Gosh, girl.
Oh my
I don't know what
god!
I don't know what that was, but one of you's getting slapped and one of you's getting bread.
Can we both get the bread?
I mean, yeah,
Better
it's a
go
foot
stand on the
long. I got
corner
it
and start.
from. I went and got it from the bakery at Walmart. Good deal.
Ooh,
Boom, bread.
pumpernickel?
No, fucking normal white bread like a normal person.
Why's it gotta be?
Because flour is white.
I am particularly fond of potato bread.
Me too.
I like potato bread. Evaporate.
There's a bread wizard at my Walmart. Yeah, I'm leaving it there. All right.
Just gonna mess with that, huh?
Yep, I sure the fuck am.
All of his
That's
spells are bread related.
Know
a
how to
couple of
cast
good.
Mike Hard Cider.
Anyways, you fixed a couple of things there. Naibias helped get a lot of wounds healed and has witnessed the field surgeon's work with proper stitches.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, look at your jaw. Ah, oof. Yeah, you took an accident, jaw. I'm sorry it hurts, but I have to assess how much of your. Oh, oh, yep. That's powder right there. Oh, yep. Okay. So to fix your jaw, I'm gonna have to cut right here and get the fragments out of here. I'm gonna open this up. You know, rods here. I know. I have to fix them with a few pins that I have. Now, unfortunately, I don't have anything that can safely numb the pain. So you'll have to bear with it. Oh.
About to hurt a lot more than getting the.
Well, children, you don't have to help with this one, but if you want to sit around and look at it, you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see if anybody else needs to.
I feel like Beatrice would really not have a problem with gore, especially since she had that weird habit of ending up covered in it.
Covered in gold.
Okay.
Absolutely drenched.
Yep. Oh,
It's kind of what happens when you're stabby.
I'll close this.
But she will do her best to help. Not get in the way or anything.
They don't have a scalpel, however. They use their nail, which they cover in a thin layer of extremely sharpened metal.
Ah, those.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mhm.
I buy specifically on the pitch and rhythm, their agonized scream. Maybe it'll make a song.
There you go. Tough it out. It's a pretty deep cut. They go straight down to where the jawbone would have been, and they start around the top of their jaw, right where it becomes the top of the cheek. Except it's more back towards the ear, so it's kind of beside the noggin. And then they
Schnoggin.
do a nice little slice down to almost entirely the bottom of their jaw, letting them peel their face open there, so they can actually fix those fucking just an annoying amount of injury. Wasn't hard to get through the middle section of their face here, though. considering that there was already a fucking mark from an axe having struck them. What happens when you fight things that are stronger than you or your level? The injuries, they can appear.
Stop coming.
Drown the bunny. Something else Beatrice can help with if she wants, I guess, is
No, don't
helping
drown the
them.
bunny.
No, help with the bunny, but seriously. Beatrice can help get the tools ready when they ask, while they work on their freaking jaw, which includes them using little tiny tweezers to slowly pull fragment after fragment after fragment of bone out. And by the time they're done, they're able to fully assess that there's about an inch or so gap between the two pieces of jaw, and they are closed as thoroughly as they can be. You know, the right side that's still intact is shut, and their teeth are touching, and you just can see that there's nothing but like a little like busted mountain range kind of shape there. Yep. Ends it is. One. Mm. Yeah, Fionn can have blood taken from him.
Theon does?
Yes, because he's sitting around like some of the others, so they're getting blood for those that need it.
Theon will happily give some of his blood to those that need it more than right now.
Okay. Kind of take his little nail and scoop up some of this person's blood and give a little taste. Just some bacteria. Okay. All right, you're in luck. A lot of people share your blood type. You're definitely gonna need some. So are a lot of other people. That is really one of the tricky parts, is mitigating the blood. Hence why there's so many rags that they boil after every time they do something. So they can dry them out with more magic, and then use them to soak up more blood, and then put them in a bowl of water. There and actually help very, very gently set the pins in place so they can work on basically pining them to the bone. And they check the locomotion, and that takes them a little bit of time, about an hour. This only
I
takes them
think
4 hours.
Beatrice would be pretty good for that. She's very dexterous.
Okay. You're this blood type. And they'll take a bag of blood, and they'll prep it, stick it in this person's arm, and just lie it on their side. And you can see their freaking face is fairly swollen, but it's stitched back together. Even they managed to even use a little bit of minor magic just to heal up the slash, or rather the hack wound from when they fucking got hatcheted. The only
Get a little
stitch
bit of
is...
help for nature.
Yep. And that's why magic and physical science can't replace each other, because they're too fucking useful together.
And it's like, why have one when you can have both?
Well, at least doctors in this world, as you see, or any sort of practitioner of medicine, they use both of them extensively because their whole thing is, I'm here to save lives, and if I have a fucking tool to save lives, I'm fucking using it.
Yep, pretty much. Basically, you can save a lot more lives if you don't use exclusive.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna run out of juice eventually.
Looks like Fion's blood went to one of the gentlemen lying there without an arm. They've pretty much chopped up all of the fucking seats and stuff that they can and thrown together little cots and shit for the most injured of their order.
And probably splints and braces and makeshift
They're-
crutches and all sorts of things.
Fion, Mob, and Faraji and Sin all get taken by some of the Chevaliers. They need help moving one of the heavy-ass bookshelves. That way they can take it apart and use it to help make more shit. Because they don't know how long this fighting might last, given how fortifiable this place can be.
And Fionn would assist with whatever they told him to do, pretty much.
I'm happy to help. So much damn death here. Yeah, there's an uncomfy amount for me too. Just the ammonia here. They do not understand. Well, they do not need to panic. We'll have things under control as much as we can. Or as long as we can. And Norrell's as busy as ever trying to get as much information as he can. I guess Naibai and Beatrice are just gonna follow the surgeon around.
Yep.
Naibai is composing
Beatrice
a
is
song.
gonna. Yeah, Beatrice is gonna be as much help as she can for everybody there. Whether it's just moving stuff around or helping keep people steady or just whatever needs to be done.
It's another.
Naibai's helping.
Well, they both get the help of this next one, who's apparently another head injury. Well, he has a bandage around his fucking skull. And when it's undone, it looks like there's a broken arrow half in his eye.
Wonderful. Our job harder.
Oh, no, he makes it easy. Just rip it the fuck out. I do not need it.
You don't need that
So,
eye.
I think you might. I don't need the eye if it's going to hinder my job. If it's going to make it difficult to care for me, then rip it out of my skull. Just patience, my friend. Patience. Okay. Is this painful? Extremely. So we have some good news. It's mostly transorbital, which means I can work with it. But it is still an eye injury. And I don't know how deep it is. And I'm not a divination mage, so I can't get a visual on that. Let me see. And you can see him thinking of how to gauge it. And he eventually has Beatrice hand him his doctor's bag.
We'll do such, and she'll basically curiously watch and see what he gets out of it.
It looks like he pulls. It looks like a hairpin out of it.
Everyone
Hey.
die.
He very slowly unfolds it. Make sure it's nice and straight. And then he pulls the little tiny bit of wax off the end. And he very carefully slides it down into the same wound with that piece of arrow haft.
Basically, right along the wood until it hits the arrowhead.
Yep. Let's see. Going to need another one. That is sadistic. That is one of those little sick arrows meant to impale and maim. If I try to pull this out, it will definitely hook and rip. But luckily, I have an idea. And he'll slowly pull that out, and you can see this. This is a lion's guard here who's just clenching the wood beside them, but they know that there's no point in moaning about it because they're going to fix it eventually. When he pulls that hairpin out, he kind of gestures for you to give him some cloth that's in that bag while he thinks of the rest of the way to go about this. Oh no. Signal, don't die.
Oh no.
Oh no, signal.
Okay, I think it's there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Terminate.
Wait, no.
Don't you
Communicate! Anyways. What you do watch him do is get some cloth, another one of these hairpins, then he very meticulously tears this cloth up, pierces it through this hairpin, and slowly pushes it down in there. And kind of looks like he's almost lockpicking this fucking wound.
Gross.
And he does the same with another one.
Out of the way so that it doesn't get hooked, right?
Well, considering it's the arrowhead he's actually working with. Okay. Alright. And then you can see him wrap a piece of cloth. It's one continuous piece of cloth. He'll wrap it around one arrowhead, the end of one of the pins, nice and snug in what looks like a triple knot of some kind. And then he'll do it to the other one. And you see him hook his fingers and then grip the arrowhead. Or grip this little piece. Okay. This is going to hurt severely. So, and he'll give him a little piece of what looks like leather-wrapped wood to chew on, which they take, because you can tell it's not their first time being injured badly, and they just home. And then you see him push, twist, and then yank. But they get it in one go, apparently. And you can see what he was doing with those pins. He was pushing that cloth around those two little curved hooks at the back of the arrow. That way it couldn't grab any flesh on the way out. So it just dug into the cloth and gave a rough area to pull through rather than meat to grab. Oof. That is pure luck, though. Lean over. Let it drain. Good thing Fion's not there to watch him, because he pulls his little bucket alongside this gentleman and just kind of helps him sit himself upright while he drains blood from that fucking cavity through that wound that wound channel he cleared up. I'm gonna use some minor magic here, that way we can heal this and slow the blood flow. Yeah, I'm aware it hurts like a motherfucking bitch. Excuse me, it hurts like a cattle rustling whore.
Half expecting this guy to go yacht.
He is from Yervadia, and it's taking every muscle in his body not to use only swears from his country. See, look, they really are kind of diverse here. Because that's one of the highest positions in the country, and this gentleman is not a native.
Society.
Yep. What do you Okay. Now. Pages, I'm going to boil things. I want you to take some of those cotton swabs. I want you to very carefully swab this wound here out of any particulates. Then you can just take this small little white tub, dip it in there, and rub it in there. It's a mild anesthetic.
All right. And so she will do exactly that. You want me to help with boiling things? I can make a small fire as well.
No, I appreciate it though. You. He's got a lot of resilience though, considering that he's looking at you with the injured eye while you work on the hole that happens to be mostly in the side of his orbital, but is very gently kind of gouged into the side of his eyeball.
Yeah, no. It's a good thing that Fion's not there.
Yeah. So he's not going to lose it completely, it sounds.
No, it was thankfully just far off to the side enough that it hit, scraped through the first little layer of bone on the inside, and got stuck at the back near his cheekbone. But the edge of it did give a decent but fine slice to his eye, but it didn't manage to hit his ocular nerve, so it still functions. Because the eye can do that. You could damage 99% of it, but as long as that ocular nerve is okay, it'll still see something.
Yep.
Yep.
And if it got the side, then there are definitely going to be the photoreceptive cells there too.
Yep.
So
So he's
she's
definitely got a little.
She's
I guess
going to be as careful can be. She's going to try not to cause any pain while she's at it.
Mm.
And of course, once she has finished applying the anesthetic, or was it analgesic or something, whatever it was, once she's finished that, she's going to just kind of get out of the way and let the others work.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot I can do with magic here because I have to preserve it, but I can at least put some of the salve here that has some fairly expensive materials that will ensure a rapid regrowth. It's not going to be instant, mind you, because I don't have that much, and if I did, I wouldn't spend it on anyone. This here. Yeah, but it will make a years long journey of healing only last a few months, maybe 5 to 7 at the most. You're going to have kaleidoscopic vision in your right eye for a while. I suggest you just keep it covered to keep from disorienting yourself. Alternatively, you could do what some crazy bastards I've known do, and use it to your tactical advantage. I'll be back in 2 hours to check on you, just to make sure that all that blood in your eye cavity there did not cause some sort of... Well, there's a lot of things it could have caused with your brain, but you seem to be conscious enough. Still, I want to be certain that it didn't give you an aneurysm of some kind. Make sure you didn't go into hemostatic shock without knowing it. Okay. Next injury. He's just clearing severe injuries. There's only 2 more. They're not nearly as interesting. Okay, I say they're not nearly as interesting, considering one of the next one probably is. That's a clean solar plexus injury. Straight through, and they still have the fucking spear in them.
Ooh.
And so he gets to deal with that. The last one would also gross Fiona out. It's just an injury to an arm. Unfortunately, it's somebody's hand, or rather arm, is split from between the middle and ring finger down to the elbow.
Oh Lord.
That's what... Yeah, this is just a short... This is just after I say short battle. It lasts like 15 minutes. That's a long-ass
That's not a
time to be
short battle.
fighting.
Yeah. Fionn is doing his best to keep from losing his lunch, and so far he's doing pretty good.
He's done decently.
Get
He
away from
managed to
all
move...
the gross stuff.
Yeah.
If he ever feels low queasy, he'll just do like a hard swallow and think about something else.
What they have Fiona doing is what basically all of you are doing. You and Sid, Bob, and Farashi are currently doing. And that's, they have, aside from moving that bookshelf, they now have you assembling crutches and braces and splints and just cots. And of course, more fortifications out of some of this. Like all of the shelves, they chose to use those as makeshift planks. That way they can even further reinforce certain doors that they don't want busted in. They've used them to make a bunch of basically heavy latches for the palace doors instead of just one large latch, just in case. It's got 5 or 6 of these, which are essentially just 3 or 4 shelves each, just stuck together thoroughly and then made into these locking hinges. Because it's almost like these people have been under a siege before and know that Probably a bad idea to put all of your strength on a single piece of wood.
Yeah.
Sometimes several slightly smaller pieces can be a lot stronger than one big one.
Yeah, because you're spreading it out. You can break the one in the middle, but the door still won't open if the ones at the bottom and the top don't open.
Exactly. And they can kind of share their stress instead of having it all at one point.
And Nora was talking to a captain. He has been this whole time. I'm thinking he's been talking to two of them. And also trying to find out who uh, the injured individual, their serious injury is. He's doing his best. He's doing his best, though.
Hi, kitty.
Is there just a cat in your room?
Yes, kitty has come to see me. He's so soft, floofy,
And
pretty. Kitty Gabby.
Much meow.
Are you jumping
Yeah.
up? Go, you're a little clumsy cat. I gotta get my footing right. But you're not gonna hang out on the arm of my chair? Jesus, no, I have to stand in front of your screen.
You're not doing anything important to you, right?
Not to them.
Kitty licking my hand.
Meow. Okay.
oh,
That's a lot of help, though. You helped several people. That's, seen the strength of some of these fucking soldiers. But you can also see a lot of fury in some of their eyes when they look over at other dead Lions guards. Thank you.
You're a funny cat. Yes, you are. He's really funny. Don't walk on my computer.
Good kitty.
let the kitty walk on your keyboard and type a message.
You got bark dust all over. Why do you have bark dust in you?
Meow. I'm a cat.
Or is that just regular dust?
Meow, I'm a cat.
Clearly, it's bark dust. Bark dead.
Okay, dokie. Noro has done his talking, and he will eventually come and round up all the children's is sit and wait for Kevin to stop drooling to discuss a plan. Okay. Well, there, children. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say here, really. Someone's gonna be pissed off at me. She's gonna be so mad. I'm gonna get my ass kicked.
I don't think I should be too mad. Nobody expected all this to happen.
You have no idea, Fiona, how women think.
Is everything your fault, Ben?
Yes.
Yep.
Everything is somehow your fault.
Everything's my fault. Damn me. I'm such an idiot. But it's not too bad. There are perks.
These things just happen to find us. Just
I guess it's just a location kind of thing with us. We happen to be in the right place at the wrong time. What the hell's the deal with you rookies? Why are you so special? I trained a bunch of other nerdy little rookies, no problem. And then you fuckers come along with prominent parents to some degree, and gotta live up to the reputation.
Just kind of shrugs.
I'm sure I do, somehow, automatically, by transitive property. Okay.
those. Well, we don't really know too much about what's waiting ahead of. Was
No, but
go help this other guy out? This
we
what was his name? Kokabeel?
we're to deal with him. They've asked us to go and at least verify that he's okay, or if he's behind this, to make sure he doesn't get away. Also, because there are some chevaliers and lions guard that are further in the penitentiary wing of the palace, and they might need assistance.
True.
They don't know how many are in there. They do know that they believe at least 2 to 3 dozen flooded into there. They don't know how many of them were skilled fighters, and how many were just sympathizers. Is the best way I can describe it. But
You think maybe the enemy would be releasing prisoners? Or
that's what they think is. I mean, tactically, it would make sense if they're trying to cause disarray. Then letting out individuals who have a grudge against the remaining loyal Lions Guard or those in charge.
yes,
And
that's kind of what I was thinking.
the Namanthian Chevaliers aren't exactly a friend to any criminal, even if they're from a different country. They don't really care. And then there's the fact that the main reason the Chevaliers can't go in there self is because a majority of their strongest fighters have gone further in, deeper to the palace to try and find the High King. And the rest of the stout fighters, they've stayed in the heavily fortified east wing of the palace is entirely controlled by chevaliers, and that's where the High Queen is currently waiting patiently. So their forces here in the palace are split, with half of their best being with the king, the other half of their best being with the queen, and the rest of them here. They're trying to maintain some control. That way, things don't spiral further and they get more chaos that they can't deal with. As you've noticed, the Chevalier's numbers weren't exactly as numerous as the Lion's Guards when this whole thing began, and they need to try and get some rest because no matter how skilled of a fighter you are, attrition is not a friend to your survivability. It will whittle you down eventually, consecutive fighting.
So I suppose the best way would be to reduce the amount of fronts that we're fighting on. I guess reinforce those that need it.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I suppose I could open up my sheet and look at it.
Okay. Just side note, I don't think Dirk will be able to join us because they also got storms up there and they knocked out his internet.
That sucks.
Yeah. Okay. So they've assured me that there's no way for them to get out of Penitentiary Wing. They can't use waystones because waystones are extremely powerful transportation magic or natural temporal magic, but even they can't get through. What do they call it? I think they call it nullicite. It's this weird. It's like this stone grown inside of trees, dead ancient trees, and it has this weird habit of draining magic that comes into it. So, at least the cell that he's in, they can't get out from there, and they made the hallways intentionally narrow enough that you couldn't use a waystone to get out without bringing debris with you and causing all kinds of complications to your teleportation. They have to come out.
It causes too much interference to make teleportation work.
They have to definitely come through the only available door. They haven't found the True Seeker. Nobody knows where he is. They haven't seen him since the attack, which is annoying. They fear the worst.
Yeah, he might be a target.
Well,
I'm not sure. I'm still not sure whether this was part of a plan or if this was retaliation for something.
The true seekers stumbled upon a plot, as the captains told me. The Manthians made it clear to the loyal Lion's Guard that there are spies amongst them that work for the Manthians. Those spies go so high as to be in the Queen's chamber or the Empress's chamber at any given time, which is to be expected, I suppose, when it comes to, you know, royalty and the game, like they like to call it. But the thing there is that, one of the spies overheard the True Seeker explain to the Empress a plot he believes he stumbled upon, which is the Wing of Judgment aren't the masterminds behind this whole thing necessarily. Or rather, he believes, as the Chancellor of the Ministry of Law, Order, and Punishment, that he must inform her that these accusations that he stumbled upon in this plot implicate her as being part of some sort of conspiracy to commit treason of some kind. Which, the more that we look around, the more believable that becomes.
That would explain why that other fellow from the church said that it seemed to go to the top.
The True Seeker assured the Queen that Sataniel, the exarch of the church that was sent, he's not involved in any of the Wing of Judgment's plots, though when he questioned him one-on-one, he did confirm that he had awareness of the plot to an extent, but not that would implicate him in being involved in it. Just he knew about it or heard about it. One of the a sort of knowledge of disbelief, so to speak. The True Seeker didn't get to tell her everything though, because the Empress just had heard enough for the night. And I suppose that's the curse of being a divination mage, is when you find truths, you seldom doubt yourself. So if he is
It
missing, and he's
definitely lend a bit of confidence.
the real question is if the Empress themselves is involved with this wing of judgment who wants to summon an ancient and powerful world boss like that, then what exactly do they want to summon them for? Is what I'm trying to figure out. It's very concerning to me. Why
It
do
makes me
something?
wonder if he wants to go back to the old ways, previous dynasty.
That is, Empress Marceline is a very interesting ruler, but there's no way that they'd want to go back to that. They've never come off as that, and it's never really been that way. I mean, they've always been a very humble and polite ruler, which creates further confusion as why, if they are involved in some sort of
Perhaps there's some sort of corrupt influence that's making her do. And if that's the case, who knows who's in charge of all that? There are people spamming banana gifts at me.
Well,
Well, not specifically at me. They're spamming them in a chat.
Fion's gonna look at the tomorrow. So, what's the plan? Do we wait for Kevin to wake up? Do you think we should go ahead?
I think we'll definitely need his skills and weaponry and such.
Oh,
¿Cómo está? Right here?
cansado. ¿Y tú?
Yeah, muy bien.
Glasses are so dirty. No wonder I couldn't see anything properly.
Oh.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now they're transparent again. And I can see things. Like this
Good.
skunk.
Oh, no.
My roommate was just informing me that dinner's ready, but I'll eat when we're done with the session.
Can see.
Okay.
I can fight.
Oh, I don't know. There's no way imagining themselves for doing this to return to some sort of old way of behavior and ruling. There has to be some reason that she's one of. She's considered a people's empress herself. She loves this country. She's always shown it. She's heavily championed the anti-discrimination laws of Ilvermar, or Ilvermana, excuse me. I don't know. I'm just so used. I was raised calling it Ilvermar, but that's because elves don't care and think every one of us are fucking pagans. Man, silly bitchy father. Anyways, we'll have to figure that out though. Whenever Kevin stops fucking drooling. Ah.
Yeah, Kevin.
Until that, I think we should keep helping out here. And once he wakes up,
That's all we can do. I have to keep thinking of some sort of plan. Need to think, put my brain to use. It's just a nightmare. I never thought I'd be caught up in some sort of plot. I mean, I thought like I'd be caught up in like a conspiracy for assassination or something on like another member of the guild. I didn't think I'd be, caught up in.
You'd be the target.
I knew I'd be the target probably. If we're being honest, I piss off a lot of people. I'm okay with that. I thought it'd be like either that or I just one day wake up with Samar's fist print in my face. Okay, Joseph, you're gonna have to do your best to help. I'm sorry, I'm not really able to do more. Listen, I know this is a shitty scenario that you're in. I know none of you, signed up for this. I know you wanted to be adventurers to explore and help people and be just young. I didn't. I know personally. I mean, I'm in my fucking 40s. I know nobody signs up for
saving
being
the
caught
world.
up in this. We're saving the world, or at least a part of the world. I mean, I don't know ultimately at the end of the day what our impact in the global scale of things will be. What we do. I don't know if we will save anything, but I like to think that the least we can do is fucking help. Even if we don't save the world, if we can at least make it easier for the real heroes to do it, I guess that's really all we can hope to do is be helpful,
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Nobody can do it.
that's what I would hope
Nobody
to
can
do.
save the world alone.
I don't know about that. I think Vesuvius could probably do it. He's really strong. To be fair, though, Vesuvius's power would also probably destroy the world just as much as he'd save. Meanwhile, somewhere. That's not funny, whoever's making comments about me.
Yeah, I imagine Vesuvius would be quite the powerhouse in battle against evil god thing.
That's how Vesuvius officially earned himself an elite ranking. He skipped from gold all the way up to platinum. He killed a boss on his own.
Hmm.
An elite dungeon boss spawned when him and his trio were venturing once. Killed one of his trio. Scared when his best friend that he'd known since childhood so bad when he seen him use his power that quit the guild. Just left. He said he watched Vesuvius scale this thing. He called him V a lot because he wasn't the kind to just say Vesuvius, Vesuvius, Vesuvius. But he thought V had a nice ring to it.
It does.
Yeah, don't call him that. That'll piss him off. That's
Yeah.
only he could call him that. Said he watched him while broken and beaten, having been smashed by this thing's hand, this giant monstrosity. It crushed a lot of his bones, but still Vesuvius was said to have scaled its back, wrapped himself around its neck, and started pumping his volcanic magic down its throat through a wound he had made by clawing at its gills until it opened.
Ooh, that's a little gnarly.
That's how Vesuvius earned himself his first revive. Literally incinerated the both of them in the ensuing aftermath. What did he call it? He gave a name to it. He says he'll use it again if he has to. I don't remember. Something insane. That was Vesuvius' first revive. Was a sacrificial attack. But it fried that fucking boss, is all we know, turned it to ash. I have only giants like him could be here, but sometimes it falls to us support staff. Yeah. I haven't eaten anything this entire night, and I'm just now getting a little irritated about that. I'm very hangry, and I want to kill somebody.
Fion's gonna reach into his inventory and get some of the dried salmon that he not salmon, but dried fish. Want some of this?
No, I want to be angry. Let it happen. Thank you, though.
Alright.
The angry could work.
Hey, good. Who knows? He might get a new form out of it.
Oh, I remembered what Vesuvius called it by the way.
What's it called?
He called it damnation eruption.
Ooh, just sounds hardcore.
He's a very thematic person. Would you believe me if I told you he writes poems?
Strangely, I
Actually,
would.
Okay, you both talk at the same time. What?
actually, yes.
Strangely, I would.
Would you believe me if I told you that Suyu once had sex with 10 women at once?
There's a rumor going around.
It's true.
I know. I wondered about.
It's 100% true.
I'd believe it.
No, I know. I know for a fact because one of them is my adoptive sister.
Ah, Bill.
Funny the things I think of when I might die in a few minutes.
Bill. Any case. Fion's gonna pat Noro's shoulder. I think everything.
Hope so.
You never know. Maybe the cavalry will show up soon.
Who knows?
I'm gonna go help whoever needs some. And Fion's gonna kind of look at everybody and give a thumbs up. I think it'll work. It's a
I do
clusterfuck.
too, but I'm going to try as hard as I can.
Oh, right. Naibai. There's serious patient. It's your friend.
Is going to start heading cold where that's at.
Is this Rosenforth or?
Okay.
I had wondered what
No,
happened.
Oh no.
just go through that one door right there with those two chevaliers. Yeah, they have him in a very thickly walled storeroom in a makeshift, I guess you could say, care chamber. I don't know the particulars, but they said that they found him injured.
Find out.
Nobody's not allowed to go through the door.
Why?
Because they have to keep the person in the other room safe.
Rump.
A lot of the fighting seems to have died down outside, thankfully, though. At least the majority of it.
Yeah, I'd imagine this is not going to be a one and done battle that's going to be over quick, so it's going to last for a good minute.
It'd be a lot of work.
At least in this part of the city, it's over.
I imagine the big, strong people are going around helping people and making progress in that battle. Turning the tides.
Oh, I got Discord.
Yeah.
Miss
Well,
Sar.
eventually, though, they will start extending, I guess you could say, the safe area as more and more chevaliers come in or get let in through the barricades, and they bring with them very small groups of people whom they check, and the chevaliers have one of their own divination mages, basically just not even polite, just they grab them by the fucking chin and just start reading their minds by force.
Yeah, basically vetting them thoroughly.
Even though you, you can tell they've dealt with traders enough, though, because even when they get them cleared to go through, they have pretty much everyone that isn't another chevalier or an allied lion's guard from outside sitting in a specific corner of the little safe zone. And once they start getting enough numbers, they do manage to go a little deeper. And when they do open one of the doors, you can hear fighting at the top of the steps because somebody tried to push out one way, and that's its whole other thing.
Theon is going to go see if there was anything he can do to help.
Theon can stay the fuck out of that because they are not going to let him
Well,
close.
not that. No, not
You
the
could
fighting. No.
probably keep moving furniture and stuff and helping out with minor
Yeah.
medical things.
Yeah, he'll let them help him. He'll let them help move stuff, clear some of the fucking, like something that he's helping do is get rid of some of the dead bodies. When she's
Even pile all the books up in a corner or something if necessary.
well, he was tasked with moving some dead people that they've wrapped up and they've taken, through a secured enough exit outside that has, you go out and there's at least four more of the chevaliers out there patrolling it, and they're doing their best to put them in a small designated area. They don't want corpses piling up because they're not exactly good for morale.
No, they're not.
By the time he's done with that, though, he gets to help, check everybody and see if anybody needs something. And then they distribute some food to the scared and kind of hungry people, most of whom are hungry. They're almost all hungry. Probably like 99% of the reason they're hungry is because they probably vomited up every fucking thing they had eaten, and they're just completely out of nutrition. But man, Fionn, you get to see like the looks on people's faces when they've seen a lot of death in one night.
Mm.
You can tell the difference between people who aren't meant for war and people who are, because some of these nobles are fucking shaken. They're pale, sweating, and scared, and some of them are. You can tell that they're bothered, but it's not overwhelming, and they are accepting of it.
Yeah.
Eventually, Faramia's parents will come inside, but she does not follow. They're fine. Faramia's
She's busy
father,
saving people.
she is. And Faramia's father brought a bunch of children in on his back. Hello, little one. How are you? Want to be picked up?
Theon would go and assist with the children.
There's probably a lot of crying.
Yeah.
And some of it might be coming from the children.
But it is worth noting that you every now and then when you help a child from one of their backs or the back of somebody else, like some of the chevaliers who bring them in, and that goes to show you how seriously these chevaliers and these non-traitors bastards of the Lions Guard are about their jobs, is that even when they are coming in with limps from bleeding, messed up limbs, they're still trying to help somebody else. Okay.
Beatrice, I'm sure, will help some of them, just even if she's just a little bit of physical support. She'll do what she can to help everybody.
Thank you, mon ami. Thank you, mon ami. There are female chevaliers, you have to remember, and they're all thankful. There's female Lions Guard, too. Again, they don't give a fuck. That's diversity. We need fighters! We need people who can do their job! That is actually a really big argument to be made, is in a world with magic and skills like this, gender doesn't really have any bearing. It's all 100% talent.
Yep, if they can do the job they're in.
But it's kind of heart crushing when you set a child down who's looking for their parents and there's no response. But then it's like heartwarming when you set one down whose parents do immediately find them, and you get and just out of you can just tell it's one of those actions that they do out of just those automatic responses when someone's just elated. You get your ears pet by a lot of the dads who are just happy that their children didn't die in this.
She's going to be very blushy about that.
You don't know how many times you've been told thank you even though you literally did nothing.
So she'll basically give little murmurs of like anything to help.
Joan also gets his head pet. Some gentleman even just kind of pulls you into his chest and thank you. Because he was happy that he's seen you take his daughter off of somebody's back. They don't need a response. They're just happy because you brought them their world.
Yeah. Well, Fionn would just nod and, he would return the hugs that he gets and just trying to help.
I appreciate it. Come on, baby girl. Norrell's doing a thing. Jesus Christ, he's doing a lot of dice rolls here. Norrell's putting his big noggin to use. Norrell's thinking a lot. He's sitting here racking his brain about why exactly aren't they pushing out or what could they do. And he's really catching on to a lot of stuff fast.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they're not pushing out because they don't want to push out.
Damn, Ivy got the big brain over here doing a good think on stuff. I was like, I might be in the ballpark with a big old fox brain.
Beyond may not know much, but he does know that they do everything with a purpose.
Let's see. Does Beatrice think it's suspicious? Let's.
You want beans if we have any?
Uh,
Oh yeah.
let's see. Does Beatrice think it's
That was
suspicious?
a conversation from one of the combat cooks, I guess you could call them, amongst the Lion's Guard. Is they are asking people if they would like beans or just soup.
And so
'Cause they don't
Beatrice
have much.
does apparently think it's a little bit weird that they're not, pushing back at the incursion. But I don't think she rolled high enough to say, wait a minute, She just rolled high enough to go like, it's a little weird.
Meanwhile, with Yon doing fighting. Yon gets done with fighting, and then just sprinting around the corner. You can hear that familiar voice of the small mage. Yon!
Yon will turn her attention immediately to the small mage, Galaiko, right?
Yes, he has come back after an amount of time, and he has sprinted. Yon! 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 I need you! I need your nose! Oh god.
And so she will follow him as quickly as she can, because she knows he is a little speed demon there.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Lungs.
She will, in fact, transform into her true form, kind of stoop down low so that he can get on if he needs to.
And Mons is just busy lifting up a fucking stand from the theater. This is actually pretty clever. He's using his immense strength, and he's carrying stands of people up to the palace door.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a good idea. He can just carry lots of people.
All at once.
Especially if somebody happens to be injured.
I will promise I will pay for the damages, playwright. I just have to make sure everyone is safe. Marianne, dear, we're going to take you to the palace, and then I'm going to go kill more people. Oh, I thought I was done with war. I suppose men will never learn when they are truly outclassed.
Clank, clank.
Will you do that?
It's the
Are
sound
you all
of-
busy there? If you run into any extremely dangerous trouble, and fucking Farami will give Glycol a little pull tube. Aim it up and pull. It is a flare. It will show me where you are. And the color is quite simple. This is the help me fucking now. It's red. Appropriate. Red like blood. Or blood in the urine, yes? So, you're Mom's girlfriend, huh? We? Follow me, did they? No, it's nothing wrong with that. Just somehow I fucking knew. Somehow I always fucking know. Shocker.
I'm still here. I'm just muted because clank, clank. But yes, Yon is ready to help Lycal whenever he needs her sniffer.
He's gonna climb up onto the Yon back. You're so soft.
Thank you.
It's been a while since I've rode you into the night. Jokes aside, I don't need your physical sniffer.
A magical one?
Your spiritual one.
Ah,
Michael has a big brain idea, and he thinks he knows what people are up to.
Mm.
Michael is the thinker. This is akin to the runes on the ground when we first met, and I thought you were really freaking pretty when I met you, but so was that one bird. Oh my God, Moss, that was so goddamn. Well, that's enough about theoretical erections that'll happen eventually. Let's go!
and so Yon will head in whichever direction he points her.
He very gently just squeezes fur and gives a tug as he explains, like right or left.
Yep, I kind of imagined him doing that and just kind of like subtle things to get her attention, make her kind of head that direction. But she'll use her special.
What do you see with your special eyes? You're taking the Herbert to Erzingard.
They put the Master Chief on the gurn.
We put the Master Chief in the shooter.
They put the Master Chief in the shooter. Sorry, that's the video. But yeah.
Guacamole gamer
Nah.
farts.
9,000. Fucking
Honestly, sounds better than G Fuel. What I especially like about it is the misleading label. It does not taste like guacamole at all.
Fucking, let's see. So, Glycal is using Yon as assistants, and he informs them, Yon, I need you to follow a coalescing of souls, but not normal souls. Souls that are tainted with fear or despair or any negative emotion.
All right. And so she will begin casting about, searching visually and magically. You know, that Spirit Fox type search.
This is the Foxo.
Yes, where everything is basically all black except these little streams of spirit.
Yeah, I imagine it's kind of takes the same space as reality. But she
So
can
that's what they're doing.
going to
Yon
begin searching and following.
is being helpful. Everyone's being helpful. Time is up.
Yeah.
7:50.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's time.
Yeah, it's about time, and I'm gonna have dinner ready. In a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. I've still got Storm, so it's not like I'll be missing anything. Glycol's casually reminiscing at the back of his head. Well, he was for a second. Like, I could probably just hang off the back of you.
Oh, Ivy. I have a quick maths question here.
Okay.
So, I have dice, and I need to find all of the combinations. But first dice only has number 1 to 3. Second dice has number 5, and 4 to 6. And I'm not quite sure how to find total number of combinations.
Okay, so they are.
It's basically a 3-sided dice of 4 dice in it. I need to find out how many combinations.
Unique combination. I think I would have to. God, it's been like 20 years since I've done this kind of math.
I've been doing it by hand, and I got up to 24, and I ran out of space on the little scrap of paper I was doing it on. Like, man, there's gotta be a faster way.
There is. There's a probability field of math. I don't remember specifically. Like I think if you're going for basically unique combinations or well permutations, you would like multiply them together or something. 3 times 4 times 3 or something. But I don't that's basically that's how many different positions they could land in. I don't know if that would be like unique outcomes though.
6 sounds like the right number.
It's like if I had a piece of paper, I could probably write it all out.
Well,
all
that's
that.
what I did. I made like a grid, and I'm like, all right, 111.
Yeah, pretty much 111, 112, 113, etc. But I think all you gotta do is multiply the amount of sides, find all the permutations. Or you could maybe even Google the. Well, I got Google right here.
I think you're right because 6-sided dice that would be 16, 6 cubes.
Yeah, it looks like you just multiply them together to find out how many.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've fiddled with that stuff. It got kind of interesting doing that stuff, but it's just been so long since I've used any of it. I don't remember if I'm doing it right.
Yeah, me too. I remember getting real into it for like a completely different game that I was working, and I just never used it again. So I just completely forgot how to do it.
I'm still gonna fuck that mermaid.
Mermaid.
The
Don't worry about
Hermaid.
it.
Oh.
The plot does thicken like a soup or porridge.
Okay. 6.
Ugh. Guys, you can thank the dice for auto-generating gruesome injuries.
Thank you, guys.
It's like, okay, where did this injury happen? This place. What kind of injury is it?
Which one made you go hook the most, Candy Cane?
Huh?
Which one was making you hook the most?
Probably the eye one. Like, yeah, arms
I
and
see.
chest wounds are one thing, but I don't know why, but anything to deal with eye injuries just kind of make me go, "Eh."
Interesting.
So
I
if I
think
was
for me, it might have been the arm that was cleaved.
Oh, fuck.
how many fit?
Okay, I am going to go enjoy thunderstorms, I guess. If you need me, give me a boop or a thunder crack. I'm sure I won't notice.
Okie dokie, I'll poke you if I need to.
Okay, guys.
Okay.
I'll probably go on Telegram.
I'm gonna try and watch some Hulu, I guess. Said somebody wouldn't let me use my soundboard, Texas! I wanted that horse to suffer indefinitely, damn it!
Like, we needed battle noises.
That horse is going to have
Horse.
shell shock by the end of this hardcore.
Who says that a horse is going to be alive? All right, I'll see you guys free day.
Yeah.
Later.
Yee, bye.
Ah, shit.